Hello and welcome to the latest webinar in our great International Education and Schools Fair for the spring season. And our topic for today is Towards International Diplomas and Bilingualism, the Paths We Choose. And I have with me today Mireille Rabaté, the head of school, and also Maaike Kaandorp. And they are both from the Lycée International de Londres, Winston, Churchill. So welcome. How lovely to see you.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for having us. Hello, everyone.
So I'll just give people a little introduction, and you've both had some wonderful international experience. So Mireille, you've had an international career, and which has led to your prestigious positions in France, Norway, and the US. And you spent 13 years in the USA and played a major role in setting up an innovative educational teaching program. And then you returned to Europe to found the Lycée International de Londres, Winston Churchill, which was very exciting in 2015.
That's right.
And Maaike, you've also had a wonderful international career in your home country, the Netherlands, and you moved abroad and worked at various international schools in the UK and the US. And after 15 years experience in IB schools, you moved to the Lycée International de Londres to introduce and lead the IB program. So both of you got some fantastic experience, and I know you're both very passionate about what you do. But Mireille, let's go over to you, and if you could provide a brief description of the programs at the school to give a setting for our audience today.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So we are a school in London, in Wembley, and we serve the needs of international families with children from age 3 to 18. So there is a place for everyone in our school, really. We focus on international perspective in education. Bilingualism is our goal for every student, and care. So we want our students to achieve excellent results, as they have done over the past years, of course, but we also want them to be caring individuals who care about themselves, you know, their own health and all that, but also about their community and are active in the community. So excellence through care in an international setting is what we are.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. And then a very intriguing title to your webinar. And this intriguing thing, what do you mean by the paths we choose? So back over to you, Mireille, to start exploring this.
Well, you know, that's something that is really important. We make choices every day. In fact, study shows that we make 3,000 decisions per day, every day. We don't need all that. But making a decision about our children's school, the path that we want to put them on, and then let them travel is really important. It's the idea that there is something that some decisions are made by the parents, whether they want to do an international education or a national education, whether they want their children to be able, at least, to eventually study in this and live later their life in this or that or any country at all. We believe that our role is to give as many choices as possible. And so we have created a school in 2015 with the goal to being a school for the 21st century. And that's what it means. It means being able to study, live, and feel comfortable and actively involved anywhere in the world. So the path we choose is also a little video about bilingualism that parents may find on our website.
So the language, the path of language is very much a focus for you.
That's one thing, the path of language, because when children discover early that people who speak different languages also think in different ways and have a different view of the world, That's what opens people's minds. But it's also the style of education. And I think that caring and being sure, making sure that our students develop emotionally as well, and alongside their intellectual development is really important. Everybody has seen how COVID has put, self care and care for each other in the community toward the front of our priorities, as opposed to just bare competition, high achievers and all that. So our students are achieving very high level. We have 100% rate of success over 5 years in the exams. I just heard that one of our students is accepted at the University of California in San Diego to do marine biology. So that's what she wants to do. So choosing that path is also choosing between becoming yourself, offering children the opportunity to develop and be themselves, as opposed to just be someone else's idea of success. Success in our school is defined one student at a time, one family at a time.
And continuity of education as well.
Well, that's true, because it's from 3 years old until 18.
Mm.
Maybe I could add about the paths as well, that in both of our tracks, students also have quite a bit of choice in choosing, their career path as well. So both in the French track and in the IB Diploma program, students have a choice of subjects that they want to focus on. And of course, that is also of great importance to the path that they will walk on into their future.
Their career path, ultimately.
Exactly.
Yes, quite. And are you going to say a little bit, Maaike, about the choice within the curriculums, these pathways?
Yes, absolutely. So in the IB Diploma program, students choose 6 subjects, and they are each chosen from a different subject group, which allows for a holistic education. And it means that students have to do, for example, 2 languages. They have to do a science. They have to do a humanities. They have to do math. There is a 6th choice that is more open. And again, that leads to maybe the path that they are choosing. For example, if a student wants to do a more natural sciences track, then they can choose within the IB Diploma program 2 natural sciences. And then within the French bac, students choose 3 options, and that could also range from languages to computer sciences to mathematics, etc. So there's a wide choice available within our school for our students to journey on.
And so you've got the French national curriculum, you've also got the English track, which I understand also offers 4 GCSEs.
Correct.
Year 7, yes.
Yes, so we offer 4 IGCSEs for our students in the English track, 2 in English, 1 in French as a native language or as an additional language, and in math. And that allows our students a good preparation for the IB Diploma program.
Maybe we could show the slide that we have prepared so that we can have a better visualization of exactly. So as we can see, from 3 to 11 years old, all our students are on a bilingual path. In the early years, 3 to 5 years old, teachers are together in the classroom, as in your kitchen, if you are a bilingual family, where mom and dad or dad and dad speak 2 different languages, each of them naturally and then as native speakers. Then through the primary curriculum, we separate the 2 languages into different moments. So half a day in French, half the day in English. But all the subjects of the primary schools, whether it's geography or literacy, numeracy, all the things are taught in 2 languages. And then by the time students enter the middle secondary education, we believe that they should make a choice of 1 or 2 paths, knowing that those 2 paths are parallel and can intersect. So we have students moving from one path to the other. There are mirror programs. Le Bac Français Bilingue follows the national curriculum of the French bac and leads to le bac français. Okay, so French bac, national program, etc. There's a lot of English and a third language there that could be German or Mandarin or Spanish. There are science. It's a well-rounded education altogether. And the mirror is the English International Program, which leads to the International Baccalaureate Program. So an international diploma, very well regarded, as Maaike said, everywhere in the world. Our students are entering, British universities. Of course, we have students at Cambridge and Imperial and UCL and St. Andrews and Durham and all the, pretty much any school they want. We have students in France at Polytechnique, in class préparatoire, cinema schools. We have students everywhere in the world. And those two diplomas, whether le Bac Français or the IB Diploma, those two programs open all those international doors. So it's really not a matter of which is best. It's which one is better or best for your child. It might not even be the same. So it's really a matter of choice and fit and where our students are going to feel the more comfortable, challenged, and reassured at the same time.
Great, yes. And while we've just got that slide fresh in our minds, perhaps we should go over to Maaike now just to describe how you would decide which of the programs you're going to take, and then perhaps go back to a bit more on how to foster bilingualism. Would that be all right?
Absolutely. So first of all, I mean, the choice, of course, is a process that we don't decide for our families and our students. It's very much a conversation between the families, the students, and the staff as well, the teachers. So there's, it's a long path where usually we have a conversation and really already try and talk about where a student might see themselves after their secondary education, maybe what country they want to study in, what they want to study as well, what kind of style, as Ms. Rabaté already said, there might be different in style, in approach. What kind of style is good for them? Are they more comfortable with, a classroom where, you really focus on a national curriculum that really focuses as well on, entering French universities? Or are you more comfortable with, a classroom where the IB is quite inquiry and concept based? It's quite, independent at times, lots of research. So it's a long conversation where we really look and ask the student and try and find out what are they comfortable with in the secondary education and what kind of ideas do they already have for their tertiary education. That's not just a conversation between me and the families, also our fantastic careers department gets involved. And they really help us as well with looking at, okay, if this is an idea that you have of studying, then you need to consider this. If you want to go to the United States, then these are the things that you have to take care of and think about if you want to do the French Bac or the IB Diploma program. For example, if you want to go to France to study, we would always say, well, the best track then will be the French track. If you want to study anywhere else in Europe, both tracks can be really, accepted as choices. However, then again, it becomes, okay, what do you feel comfortable with as a style of education? So it's a real conversation between different groups and different parties, where we try and make the best decision, of course, for the student in the end.
And when are you making this decision, just for the sake of for the parents? Yes, Mireille, you were going to say.
I just want to say it's a conversation that goes on and on, because our two paths are not impermeable. They actually cross over. The same teachers are teaching sometimes in both programs, and students move from one to the other. It's really one school, and two, if you choose one road, it doesn't mean you can't, find your way to the road you didn't take earlier. later. The thing is, until the end of year 11, there is no problem going from one to the other. Year 11 and 12 and 13 and year première and terminale are exam years. So there's no way you have to have those 2 years in the same program. But before that, we, Maaike and the teachers, each teacher guides our students towards and reevaluate. You don't make a decision for your entire life.
No.
You make a decision and then we adjust.
Yeah. So really, all the way through the school from the very start, I think you said this before, it's about a passion for bilingualism and making that as possible as much as you can all the way through the school. So tell us a little bit about how this happens. How do you foster this bilingualism? Mireille, do you want to start that off?
Well, in our school, pretty much everybody speaks at least 2 languages in terms of staff. Most of our staff, teachers or non-teachers, are bilingual. They all have lived in a variety and worked in a variety of countries. They bring to the school this wealth of experience and diversity in backgrounds and culture. So that's one thing. This is a really, vibrant, I would say, community of international minded people. And so that's a role model that we present. And we also welcome families from all over the world, bilingual families, non-bilingual families. We have kids who speak neither French nor English when they come to our school. And we find a way to teach them both. So this is our job, really.
Yeah. Can I add to that as well that bilingualism doesn't stop with our students? As a staff member, the school provides lessons in French and in English to also the staff, and it has allowed me to really progress in my French language skills. And I think that's important maybe for teachers watching. This is also a really good opportunity to foster bilingualism in teachers.
Yes, and I think you also told me before when we were preparing this that the very young children, they don't have to have had either of the languages, English or French, or in fact, all the way through to the primary levels.
Yeah, well, actually, even all the way to entering secondary school, because a child who would have only studied in English or another language entering the English international program in year 7, which is grade 6 in the US, and 6e en français, so 11 years old, they can have French as a second language as beginners. So you don't need French to come for school at all, but it depends where you started. You do need some English to be, or some French, depending on the path you choose.
And then you have this intriguing Happy Campers program.
Happy Campers, yeah, they're very happy.
So you obviously don't offer boarding, but I think this is a way where in a social environment, young people can really accelerate their language provision. Is that right?
That's true, and their cultural experience as well. Yeah. So for the past 5 years, students who had a right to reside in the UK, especially at the time students from European countries, could come and study with us and stay with host British families who became their families, really, and who have been vetted by the British Council. So we work in collaboration with an organization that create those links. I believe it's better than boarding school because it provides that, true British experience, cultural experience that is living in a family. This is only for students who are over 16, I have to say, and have their own right to reside in the UK. We do not sponsor student visa.
But I think this would be very important for our audience because there will be parents who are based in different parts of the UK, perhaps had to move around, maybe Aberdeen, Birmingham, wherever, Bristol, and would be delighted to find that they can continue bilingual education.
Absolutely. And then it can start before 16, like in year 11, for instance, when they enter in our school, they enter high school. Because we have this year a student in year 11 who's just 15, whose parents work and live in Bristol. And the young person is in a British family here, and every Friday night goes home to their parents. And, in case of a problem, the parents can be here in that couple of hours. So absolutely, it's really, we also have different ways to join our school from abroad that we can discuss a little later.
Brilliant.
And that maybe I can add that language immersion also happens within the school. So, for example, our students take PE together, so that sometimes French students will have a British speaking or English speaking PE teacher, or the other way around. And it's very important, Ms. Rabaté said it before, we are one school, and it's important for families to realize that we are not a separate section, two separate sections within. This is one school, and our students are encouraged to, to hang out, if I may say, together. And that really helps them as well to foster those language skills.
Mm-hmm. And what about the background to the IB Diploma, which is obviously very popular? Maaike, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, so it was always in the idea since the foundation of the school to also introduce the IB Diploma program, and that has exactly to do with those paths, to allow students to choose their own path and to give them choices within the school. Obviously, as an international school, the IB Diploma program was a logical choice. Both programs that we offer our students access to universities around the world. And again, it's the mission of our school, the mission statement of our school is also closely aligned to what the IB mission is. And that really looks at, we want to see caring children, knowledgeable, inquisitive, curious. And that comes back in both of our programs.
And what sort of percentage of children do you have taking either of the diplomas, two diplomas?
At the moment, the percentage of our students are about 10% of our students take up the IB Diploma program. This is our first year of having a graduating cohort. So we are, of course, envisioning a growth into that as well. But so far, the students have had great offers from universities, and we think that they will do very well this year.
Brilliant. And I think you've mentioned, Mireille has mentioned some of the universities, but perhaps you could just give us a brief overview of French universities and other global universities.
Of course, there's a lot on our website, a lot more details, of course, for our parents to see. And anybody is welcome to make an appointment with our career service. We have a bespoke, super diligent, efficient career service with Danielle. And our students have placed in universities all over the world, from Hong Kong. We had a student go to Hong Kong 2 or 3 years ago to study AI. Then we have students going to Canada. We have several students every year accepted to McGill and to other programs in Canada. We had students at Georgetown in the US. So I said UCL. We also had UC, actually, I'm sorry. And that's what we're proud about. And in France, they go to Sorbonne, they go to École de Commerce. We have students at Sainte-Geneviève en prépa, and students in at Henri IV en prépa. So it's really our goal is to make sure that our students are going to make choices that make them shine and reach their own potential.
And the careers department organizes several weeks per year for several year groups as part of that journey. So, how to write a personal statement, how to choose your universities. We do presentations on the different countries. As a Dutch person, I often present the Dutch universities, and we've got quite some students who apply to the Dutch universities as they offer often bilingual programs or programs in English, of course. So again a journey that we take together.
Yeah, so a truly international flavour, diverse population of parents and young people, as well as the students themselves.
Indeed. And students who, even if they didn't have that idea before they came to us, now have it. So we have right now a student studying in Norway who discovered all the things about environment that are offered at the University of Oslo. That's dear to my heart because I spent 2 years teaching at the university in Oslo and longer years.
I was going to pick up here now also on the pandemic and how well the school has managed to get everything online. And I think even before that, I mean, you were telling me that something like the transport strikes in London helped you, plus the experience of individual international students. So tell us how that built up the technology and to get where you are today, which is really quite exciting with your new online program. So Mireille, I know you're particularly passionate about technology. Tell us a bit more.
Well, I'm not passionate about technology. I'm passionate about great education, and and just like cooking, sometimes you need the right tools. And so when I was hired by the board, the mission was to create an international school for the 21st century. And we do not believe that technology is going away. I don't believe that using this or that kind of technology enables our students they're not going to be using that when they graduate or become or enter the workforce, but they will know how to navigate their way around technology. So technology we've had iPads and iBooks and all that from the beginning of the school, 2015. We have we run every year lots of workshops for our own teachers, but also for teachers from all over the world, some with big companies like Apple or Google, but some just by ourselves. We run those and offer those training programs because, well, first of all, in order to have great teachers, we need to offer a great environment. And we want teachers who are interested in teaching, not just doing it because they don't know what that doesn't work. We want teachers and students to be excited about what they're learning. So it's true that by being very agile and being a young school, we felt probably that we could try things at a time when people didn't. And so when the first train strike came and our kids could not come to school and some of our teachers could not come to school, we decided to see, and that was 5 years ago, we decided to look into how can we do school remotely because everybody is in a different place today. And it worked really well. And so, and everybody felt reassured that they could, try and fail or try and succeed and see new things. So after that, we scaled it up to 1 week per year, every year at the time when the older students are doing the exams. And then suddenly COVID happened and we were ready because we had been preparing for challenges of the 21st century and teaching remotely was going to be one.
So now it has developed so that you have a new path, this new online path, which is called LIL Online. So what does that stand for? And who of our audience do you think that may particularly appeal to?
Lille Online. Lille is a little name that we give ourselves between us. Lycée International de Londres, that's Lille. When we talk about Lycée Churchill, we have this very long name for most of the time. We say Lille to talk about ourselves. So it's a little, it's a term of endearment, I would say. And Lille Online stems from the success that we've had in teaching remotely. When we realized that we were actually quite ready, when our students moved and teachers moved from at school to online overnight, literally. Monday night, 53 weeks exactly ago, we closed the school's grounds, and on Tuesday morning at 8:30, everybody was in their virtual classrooms same schedule. Everybody, no one's lost 1 hour of school. And so we thought, after a while, we thought, this is going really well. We were able to maintain a sense of community. The students the students' government took it upon themselves to organize at the end of the day, every night, something for the students between themselves. So they had, a quiz night. They had Netflix parties at 600 students together watching a movie, and so that sense of community that was really strong. And we thought, there might be students who might feel isolated out there. They could join our community because we know how to do it online. And so Lille Online is a way for anybody, right now we're opening it to students over, rather secondary students, to any secondary students, whether they want to do the French Bac or the International Baccalaureate, to join our school from anywhere in the world. There might be a few, we are working on it very carefully. It could be for students, as you said earlier, Fiona, students whose parents are in, Aberdeen or in Cornwall, and they wouldn't be able to move to London. But we could certainly arrange things where they would be partly at school or partly where they are. It could be for people who are in remote countries where there isn't an international school around you. And so we are very happy we think that there is a new need. There are also people who, because of COVID and the fact that it's going to last, some people may feel a bit uncomfortable coming back to a physical world. So that could cater to them too. Or anybody who, for any reason at all, doesn't wish or cannot join the school physically. So it's us online.
Yes, and I think really for our audience, there will be companies or organisations out there, relocation professionals who think, we know about this family, they're going to a particular country, it's a bit risky at the moment, they can't start till the beginning of the term, French speakers or not, and there is another wonderful option. So I think you'll find people around the world will be attracted. It's amazing how fast a truly online education is taking off. So then again, about something really pretty unique about the school is where you're situated and the location and the space you have for a city school. So perhaps you can both enthuse about the different areas that catch your imagination. So Maaike, what is it about, describe for our audience what the school's like and what is so unusual about it in many ways?
I think having worked in various international schools that are usually maybe a little bit smaller than what we are, this school is unique to me because with a larger student body, at the moment over 800 students, we've been able to maintain that community feeling. There's a very positive and encouraging relationship between the students and the teachers. It's really, the teachers are incredibly passionate and incredibly committed to getting the best out of our students and to help them on their paths, on their journeys towards the future. And maybe to link that with also online, I think, the teachers are also using, for example, the online teaching, even during the holidays where they want to assist students to prepare or to do something special. And so that has made it also for the teachers easier to communicate with the students. So they're incredibly caring, passionate. The students are fantastic. They respond super well. We have students that have started a charity club that, are really compassionate about not only our school community, but also the local community. They're very active as students in all kinds of, sports and clubs and very enthusiastic. And I think that is unique about our school as well as a new school, that there's a lot of possibilities. And it's never, like, oh, maybe, no, it's always like, yeah, let's give it a go. Let's try it. And let's see, what we can do. And for teachers, for students, for the staff, that is incredibly inspiring, because we get to try things that we think, well, that might work, and experiment in education. And I think that's a unique situation.
And a unique building as well. I think you really like the building. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that? And of course, you're in Wembley. So some people won't understand or know where Wembley is. So perhaps Mireille, give us a brief overview of what it's like being in Wembley and how that might be an attractive proposition for parents.
Absolutely. I believe that football fans and rock and roll fans alike around the world will know that Wembley, we are very close to Wembley Park. So we see the Wembley Stadium from our windows. It's 12 minutes northwest of London on the Metropolitan line. So I, for instance, live near Baker Street, which is downtown, really in the center, near the Regent's Park, and it takes me 12 minutes to commute to school every day. The school, the building that we are located in and that we have purchased a few years ago is absolutely gorgeous, and I can not encourage you enough to take a look, because you will truly not believe your eyes. It's a beautiful Art Deco building, completed in 1937, the end of the Art Deco period. To be the Brent town hall, so the Wembley is part of the borough of Brent, and so this is the town hall. It's a beautiful, again, building made of marble, and inside it's marble, travertine and copper, and all these details that give really a soul to this new school and gives us a sort of, it anchors what we do in the international past of England, actually. And this place used to be Churchill's and the British government's hub for communications during World War II. That's why we have a secret underground escape. That's a lot of too.
You've also got some nice forest around you and some space.
Yeah, well, we own 5 acres. We have several beautiful gardens around. There's a lot of rooms, 120,000 square feet indoors, plus 5 acres outdoors. So we are close enough to the city to be reached easily, but far enough to have a lot of rooms. It's really a campus. It's also a really interesting area for families to live in. A lot of 50% of our families coming from abroad have chosen, especially when they have small children, to live around here, around the school, because it's a sort of a almost suburban area where a lot of independent houses, big houses for big families, and smaller houses, but all have like outside gardens, yards and all that, which in the pandemic has proven to be extremely attractive.
And can I just add, within the building, we have, of course, amazing space for sports, for the arts. We have a stage, we have a black box little practice theater, and we have a beautiful cafeteria where we also have internationally themed days. So again, to add to that international flavor of the school.
Brilliant. So the pathway up to the school is yet another path.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time and enthusiasm. And I'm sure a lot of people will be thinking now that bilingualism is something that they could definitely explore. So can you just sum up, how do people get in touch? What would you like them to do if they're interested in places?
Absolutely. I would invite anybody to visit our website, lycée-international.london. where you will find a lot of information about all the things we said and more details, of course. You will also have, through the pictures and the virtual tours, a better idea of what it feels like to be in the school. We pride ourselves in taking care of each family. We work very closely with our parents' families, our parents' association, and they are wonderful at welcoming new families and giving them more information about the school and the neighborhood.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much indeed for your time. So we hope that you'll be able to share, certainly in the not too distant future, and see people who can come actually to the school to visit. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Fiona, for this great opportunity. We look forward to meeting each and every one of the people who are listening or watching today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So we've been speaking today to Mireille Rabaté, head of the school, and also Maaike Kaandorp, who is running the international programme. And I'm Fiona Murchie from Relocate Global. Here are the contact details, and do go on the website and find lots of information, including that wonderful diagram which explains the benefits of the different pathways and bilingualism. This is part of our series, spring series of webinars, so please do take a look at the webinars which have included the International School of Brussels, International Education and Schools in Thailand, Netherlands, and also the Australian International School in Singapore, as just an example. And in addition, there are a whole host of webinars that we conducted in the autumn fair. So please do dip into our website. There's plenty of free information and resources, including our very popular Education and Schools section and the International Schools Fair pages, as well as our Guide to International Education and the UK Guides and Country Guides. We have a quarterly digital magazine and also regular newsletters. Thank you so much for enjoying us, and please do get in touch if you require any further information. Goodbye.